Alright, so today I am obviously a little bit tired, but we have stuff to watch. Namely, today is Lord Commander Dante by the Templin Institute. Now, this was requested by War Emperor through the Discord. If you don't have the Discord yet, please just check down below. And we're going to check this out. And then tomorrow, we're going to watch probably the Blood Angels, done by the Templin Institute as well. I'm looking to get started in a new series after I finish watching the Sigismund Baltimore video, and it's most likely going to be the All Guardsmen Party. Now, there has been a civil war raging between people on which one I should watch. We'll figure out which one. I might put a poll up or something like that. In any case, here we go.
Of the countless trillions of souls that make up the Imperium of Man, most will never see a space marine of the Adeptus Astartes in their lifetime.
True.
And they might count themselves lucky to be spared the type of carnage that would compel those superhuman warriors to battle.
Extremely true.
Yet, the presence of the Astartes can still be felt in a multitude of ways, and foremost in the legends that surround them. To the Imperium, they are angels of death, far removed from the trivial concerns of mortal men. They are nothing less than demigods, reflections of the Emperor himself. Yet for all the myths and worship that surrounds them, the Astartes at their core remain human. While many among their number have come to deny this, they are no less vulnerable to the dangers of the universe. A lucky shot may pierce their powered armor. A festering wound might overcome their enhanced biology. Their strength can be bested, and their souls can be corrupted.
Now, when he said a festering wound could overcome the biology, it would have to be something extremely potent to do that. Most likely Nerdlite.
At times throughout the centuries, however, opportunities present themselves in which the finest warriors of the Adeptus Astartes might not only rise to their mythic reputation, but exceed it. Marneus Calgar, Logan Grimnar, Vulcan Hestan, no mere tale or sermon can fully account for the feats of these champions. Still, even atop the highest pantheon of Imperial saints and heroes, there is a single soul who stands apart. For not since the time of heroes and the cataclysm of the Horus heresy has a single man given so much of himself to the Imperium, and had the hopes and fate of so many rest on his actions alone.
I honestly don't think there was a figure that was not a Primarch in the 30th millennium in the Horus heresy. I don't think there was a single figure, and I'm including Sigismund in that held as much reverence as Dante does now in the 42nd.
He is the chapter master of the Blood Angels, Lord of the Host, Regent and Warden of the Imperium Nihilus, Hero of the Red Scar, Uniter of the Sanguinary Brotherhood, the living embodiment of the 5 angelic graces, and 10,000 other titles and honorifics. He is Lord Commander Dante. Over a millennia ago, a boy was born on the second moon of Baal, within its great salt wastes. Like many, he suffered a cruel childhood, abandoning his father after the death of his mother. He resolved to become an angel, or die in the attempt. None among the tribes that dwelt in the salt wastes had ever survived the trek to the distant fortress monastery of the Blood Angels, and there was little sign this boy's journey would end any differently. Stunted by malnutrition, and weakened even by the standards of Baal, it was inevitable that, like so many others, he collapsed from thirst far from his destination. The entity that revealed itself to him that day is shrouded in the ancient lore of the Blood Angels, thought perhaps to be an aspect of the fallen Sanguinius himself. But whatever it was, it gifted the precious water necessary for the boy to complete his journey. In the trials that followed, the boy displayed no particular promise, save his indomitable and moral fortitude. His refusal to kill a fellow aspirant was in truth his final test, and he was sealed inside a sarcophagus to undergo the implantation of his chapter's gene seed. Many die within this process, such is the way of the Blood Angels. But
this is highly dependent always on the chapter in question and whose gene seed it really is. I mean, if you take a look at some, like the Space Wolves, the Space Wolves have one of the hardest implementation processes, period. They lose so many in the implementation process after the selection process, it's not even funny. The ones that have some of the easy, well, back in the Heresy at least, the ones that had the easiest implementation rates were the Dark Angels and the Iron Warriors.
But where most endure or suffer quietly, the boys screamed endlessly, drifting between consciousness and slumber, yet never falling fully into either. A scarred and malformed boy named Louis entered that chamber, but it was the angelic form of Dante that left it. No aspirant had ever endured such pain within the transformation process, and it seemed to the sanguinary priesthood to be an omen, but for what, they could not be certain. Dante rose through the ranks, but had it not been for an era of suffering and loss inflicted on the Blood Angels, he might never have ascended to the rank of Lord Commander. Yet a number of devastating campaigns had left their brotherhood shattered, and of the 200 Astartes that survived this era, Dante was the last living captain, and the only choice for Chapter Master. Some might have expected his inauspicious start to herald a bleak reign as Chapter Master and usher the final disillusion on the Blood Angels, but Dante's fate was far different. He oversaw the restoration of the chapter and led them across their most glorious and triumphant millennia since the great counter-offensive that followed the Horus Heresy. In every manner of battle, across every kind of campaign, Dante emerged from simply one champion of the Imperium among many to perhaps the single most accomplished Astartes in living memory. No one, it is said, has ever set foot on so many of the Imperium's worlds as he. Part of this is due to his astounding age, having served the Imperium for well over 1,500 standard years, with 1,100 of those as Chapter Master. He has led his chapter through ages of civil war, rampant Xenos expansionism, and the dark incursions of the ruinous powers. His vestige stands on uncounted worlds, his name spoken with unabashed awe. Yet the greatest of his campaigns was fought to save his own homeworlds of Baal. The advance of High Fleet Leviathan, the greatest such force of Tyranids yet seen, threatened to strip every molecule of biomatter and eradicate the Blood Angels from all existence. While Dante's fanatical defense of his chapter's fortress monastery equaled Sanguinius's own ancient defense of the Imperial Palace, the Lord Commander's most skillful triumph occurred before the battle had even started. A lesser man might not have been able to mobilize such allies to his side, but to Dante came almost all the successor chapters of the old Blood Angels Legion, assembling again a force unseen in 10,000 years. The arrival of the reborn Primarch Rabute Gilliman sealed the fate of High Fleet Leviathan, who in victory bestowed an even greater responsibility to the Lord Commander. With the galaxy split asunder by a great rift piercing through reality itself, the Imperium has been severed. 500,000 worlds and Baal itself have been cut off from the light of the Astronomicon, and the victory of the ruinous powers appears imminent. In this desperate era, Dante has been named Regent of the Imperium Nihilus and charged with the defense of this shadowy realm. There is little doubt across the Imperium that Dante is the perfect choice for such an appointment. He is an exemplar of the fearlessness, determination, and the genius at the heart of every Astartes. But above even that, reflected in him is the character of Sanguinius himself: mercy, empathy, and grace. Even among the angelic Blood Angels, he manifests the spirit of their fallen Primarch like no other. But so long has he lived, and so great his accomplishments, that now even Dante has been lost in his own legend. Did he truly banish a keeper of secrets within the pleasure gardens of fabled Luxurasa? Did he really face down an entire Black Legion alone?
No.
Were the pilgrims aboard the toils of the faithful rescued by his hand? How many did he truly save during the siege of Maculus? How many heretics has he laid low? Only Dante and the Emperor can say for certain, and the Lord Commander is no more likely to speak of such things than the master of mankind. In battle,
that was uncalled for.
Dante hides his face behind the death mask of Sanguinius, a shrieking visage of agony to strike terror into the enemies of mankind. This masked figure does not bleed, does not suffer, and is strong enough to shoulder any burden. In the time of ending, the Imperium needs symbols, not men of flesh and blood. And yet, in the rare instances in which this mask is removed, the figure beneath is not the man who first emerged from that sarcophagus a millennia ago. His golden hair has turned long and white. His skin is lined by tracks of weariness and age. He is old now, and his weary eyes reflect lifetime after lifetime of carnage and sacrifice. Only one thing prevents him from succumbing to time. In life, the Primarch Sanguinius is said to have seen visions of the future. 99 scrolls are interred deep within the vaults of Marest, in the Librarium on Baal, and in them, Dante has glimpsed his destiny. Sanguinius foresaw a battle to overshadow all others, and that when all hope had faded, a golden warrior would stand between the Emperor of mankind and his destruction. Most interpret this to refer to Sanguinius' own stand against Horus, but Dante believes that golden figure to be himself, and a day is drawing closer when the defense of the Emperor will rest on him alone. This belief is perhaps shared, for the great enemy has its own prophecies.
Yes, they do.
They warn the followers of the dark gods of the final flight of the dead angel's host, of the last archangel. They fear a death that soars. They shriek in terror of a golden mask that forever stares and never smiles, weeping tears of frozen gold.
In Dossier, the Templin Institute investigates the legendary figures from alternate worlds. If you've
Alright, so Lord Commander Dante is just one of those figures that unless you he's kind of one of those things where if you've never heard of him, you're okay until you meet a whole bunch of people who actually have, and then they're like, how do you not know about Dante? You say you're a fan of Warhammer 40k, but you don't know about Dante. It's kind of like one of those things, similar to other characters like Yarick and, Caiaphas Cain, I'm tired. Sorry, guys. My brain isn't exactly functioning on all cylinders. But I remember the first time I ever actually read about Dante was when I had... it was very early on in my enjoyment of 40k, where I read about the first War of Armageddon that did not involve the Inquisition, and definitely did not involve the Grey Knights, and definitely did not involve anything like that. But this is the thing I love about 40k. This is the thing I love the most about it, is no matter how much you know, there's still stuff that you don't know, which is there's hundreds of books, so many source books, just on and on and on. So this hobby that we all love, and if you're new to the hobby, welcome to it. You never escape, ever. You're stuck here. Welcome to the madhouse. We have candy. There's always something to enjoy. There's always something to just new to find. In any case, I'm going to put their information down below. In any case, I'll catch you guys next time.
enjoyed this video,
And then I'll click on the wrong screen. I have 2 monitors now, so my level of confusion is amplified greatly.